Hello and welcome. This is Michelle with PaperStampInk. Plan to do a Facebook Live tonight, but I decided to jump on unplanned, and my video editing came across pretty scratchy on the recording, so I'm doing a voiceover for you guys so you don't have to listen to all of that scratching. But I don't know if you've ever had your kids come home from school and say, hey, guess what, Mom? I need 25, 35, 50 treats for my class and my friends for Valentine's, and you were not prepared. So these are quick and simple, and you're going to be able to crank a bunch of these out in no time. So we're going to show you what the products that I used in here. I use these little Kit Kats, mini Kit Kats that you can pick up at the store. So run out to your local store. I picked these up at Target. Sure, you can find them at Walmart. And I did all these little samples, and I did a variety of them, but they took me no time at all. I came home from work this evening and decided to share a little inspiration with you guys. And I picked up my stamps and said, well, let me see, what do I have that maybe has some kind of Valentine things in it? Well, this special someone stamp set has a couple little hearts. They're can be used for balloons too, but I liked just the heart itself there, so I used that one. And then I have the Everything Amazing stamp set, and it has two hearts in there as well, which I thought were cute. And then I have my little ladybug set out from the previous video I recorded this week, and with the You're So Sweet sentiment, and I thought that was fitting as well. So the colors I'm using are Real Red and Flirty Flamingo, and then I used the 1 3/8 inch scallop punch to punch out the sentiment and the images. I thought it was a nice size. You could maybe go with something a little bit bigger, but you don't want to overpower everything with a huge circle there. So that I thought that was a great size, and it fit my little sentiments perfectly. So you don't need a whole lot of supplies to do these, but you can see I did a variation of them, and I did use the From My Heart Designer Series paper for that. So I'm going to go ahead and get out my scoreboard, and I already have paper cut down. I have my paper Real Red, and it is a 2 by 8.5 inch strip of paper. So you can get 5 of these from one 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. We're going to score at 4 inches and 4.5 inches, and that's all we need to do with that piece. Going to set that aside and get out a little strip, 1 inch by 5.5 inches of the Designer Series paper. This is the From My Heart, and I'm going to score that at 1 inch, 1.5, and then a 3.5 and 4 inches, and that's going to be the band that we're going to put around. You do need to trim if you have 6 by 6 papers. You need to trim it down just slightly to 5.5 inches. I tried it with 6 inches and it was just a little long. I'm going to grab my tag topper, and here I start to punch upside down because I'm so used to using my punches upside down, but you don't need to do that with this one. I used my tag topper and just punched both ends of that out, and I love the design that that gives us. It's a pretty punch. If you don't have that one, think about adding that to your stock. So we're just going to go ahead and fold those score lines, and a little hard time seeing one on the shiny side there. So I had to flip that over, but you don't want to score them super hard because this DSP is a little bit thin, so don't get too aggressive with it. I like to go ahead and put my Kit Kat candy bars inside and then wrap my belly band around. It just kind of helps to give it something a little more solid to hold on to there. And then I'm going to bring my liquid glue and just put a line of liquid glue around there. I'm not actually adhering the belly band to the paper. You could if you wanted to. I just like this. I can slide it on and off or shift it around if I would like to. Set that aside, and I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of paper, and that one wasn't big enough, so I went and grabbed another one just to make sure I had enough room. And then I have my Real Red ink. We're going to place that on the piercing mat because it is a photopolymer stamp that I'm using, and the photopolymer stamps work much better with a little bit of cushioning underneath. So piercing mat's great for that. If you don't have a piercing mat, your Stampin' Up! Catalog is nice. It gives a little bit of cushion and you get a much better image. So we'll punch out that with the little 1 3/8 inch scallop punch, which is another great item to have in your tool chest. I get a lot of use out of that. And then I'm going to put the little dimensional on there. You could go ahead and adhere this straight to the belly band. I just like adding dimensionals, as you probably know if you've watched any of my videos. And then I have about a 7-inch piece of the Real Red satin trim. And I think it's satin double stitch trim. But you can find whatever trim that you like that works. You know, think about mixing up these papers and getting different designs and occasions as well. I'm just going to pull that through, make it taut, but be a little careful. Don't get too crazy wailing on that, or you might pull right through the top portion of that tag. Don't ask me how I know that. Might have happened to me a time or two, we'll just say. So that is how quick those go together. And just think about if you assembly lined these and did all of your cutting, all of your scoring, all of your stamping, all of your punching all at once. These will go together so quickly. And hey, get those kids involved that forgot to tell you that they needed these until too late. Or not too late, but until you were getting really close. And these are all the designs that I came up with. You can vary them really easily. And then this one, I wanted to show you just if you wanted to step it up a notch, use your embossing folder. I use the Scattered Sequins embossing folder. Now they aren't as long as 8.5 by 11, so you are going to have to put the first half in, run it through, and then put the back half in and run it through, or just do this, the embossing on the front part if you want. That's up to you. That is over on the clearance rack right now, so make sure you go and check that out. I used my corner rounder, the trio punch, and then the hole punch on this one. So if you don't have that tag topper, you can still make these and give it a little, make it a little nicer with that corner rounding there. And then I brought in the things of flax ribbon, white ribbon there for this one, just to have a little bit of a different ribbon on there. So have fun with it, mix it up, make it yours, make it personal. If you want to add some bling, you can do that. I have some of these adhesive back sequins that you can put on there, but it's really not necessary. And if you're gonna have your kids take it to school, probably really don't need those, especially if you're gonna be giving them to the boys. They don't get so much into the bling and the glitter as girls do. So you can save yourself that step, but if you want to jazz them up, go ahead and do that. I like me some bling. Make sure you check out the clearance rack because it's got some great items, including that Scattered Sequins embossing folder and some other fun stuff. I'm going to be doing a video probably in the next week here on some of my favorites from that. Until we meet again, make sure you grab your paper, stamp, and ink and do something creative.